The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 10th day of December, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's. I'm Jamel Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People. Sherry, it's Friday. Please don't show too much excitement.
I don't want to whip too fast. I don't want my wig come off, but I'm just saying. It's
Just doing a dance. Just doing a dance, folks.
And I'm off this afternoon from my other job, so I'm just like excited.
We're excited for you. We are excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jamel. You look it. You look like, come on.
I look like I've had some rest, or you look like you've had some rest, or what am I saying?
I did a melatonin last night, so I did get a good few hours of deep sleep.
And that is necessary. It's necessary. I'm happy it's Friday. Couple of days to sleep in long. Well, actually, not really traveling. But good morning, Charlotte Fox, and happy Friday to you, Teresa and Marie as well, James Birch. And
I was waiting for James.
Oh yeah. And everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today as we welcome Colleen English De Grilla to the show. We'll be talking about pals, the daily plate. We've got more Christmas trivia for you folks, so do not go anywhere. It's bound to be entertaining and interesting. But we have a very important conversation, and we understand we do run out of time here, so we want to get right to it for the sake of conversation. So I came upon the front page of, well, at least the electronic or web edition, internet edition of the Royal Gazette this morning, and basically the minister title of it is "Minister Rules Out Breath Test Without Warnings," and basically it's regarding the road breath test checkpoint setup without warning have been ruled out by the transport minister. Now it looks like the police, former Commissioner of Police Stephen Cobbleshley, wanted to revisit that, as he felt that it was making the process a bit frustrating, right? Current Chief Inspector Robert Cardwell, the head of the traffic police, said that no warning road breath test checkpoints would make the legislation more effective. Now, the question is very simple for the audience, right? And I'll go first, just so you all know where I stand on this. Do you believe the public should be warned about road sobriety checks, right? Do you believe the public should be warned about where police are going to be? I'm going to say yes, heck yes, because we've had different police officers on this show. We've had legislators speak about this. The goal is not to criminalize people. The goal is to change behaviors in people. Now, I know some people say, well, if they know the police are right here, they're just going to go another way, right? Or they're just going to find a way. If they know they're on Middle Road, they'll go Harbor Road or South Shore, something like that. Well, no, that just means the police need to be more strategic and have places on each place, like maybe do Middle Road, maybe do South Shore, maybe do Harbor Road. But I don't believe that anything the police or the law does, that's where me and the law butt heads, right? I don't believe laws should be made to criminalize people. Laws should be made to protect people, to look out for the best interests of the community. Sherry, come on, give it to me.
Yeah, I disagree. The rule is the rule is the rule. If don't drink and drive, it's very simple. There's things put in place called taxis. There's things put in place called friends that can drive you. There doesn't need to be a warning. We have plenty of accidents that indicate otherwise. We have plenty of, there's a rule, don't put tint on your car. We still do it. And every decision, Jamal, has a consequence. Every choice has a consequence, good or bad,
No, but
and
I
if you
think what
choose,
you're saying has nothing to do with my point, though. What you just
why
said,
is that?
because I said what I said was that it's about change behavior, so not criminalizing. So you just said that um, you know, you mentioned drunk driving. The idea is to change behavior so people don't drunk drive. So
Exactly.
the end goal is the same. So if you let people know that the whole purpose of letting them know is so that they don't drunk drive. If you don't let them know, they're more likely to drunk drive, and then we have more issues than just pulling over a drunk driver. So that's the overall point. As when we were interviewing and having conversations with officers and legislators, that's why they were letting them know, so that we don't get to that spot you just mentioned.
My point if in that is that we've already had those as examples. There already been examples of that. You understand what I'm saying? So for
No, of what?
me, it's already been examples of what drunk driving can do. So
Correct.
to me, the warning's already been out there. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying
Mhm.
for it to not further happen anymore,
But those
we
warnings
should
didn't
already
work is the point.
know.
That's why they created this, because those warnings didn't work. So that's why they created the road sobriety checks, so that instead of keep doing the same thing over and over and it's not working, is create a system where, you know what, we're going to let people know think about the radar, right? On Twitter,
Right.
Bermudians come together 2 times: when somebody else disses Bermuda on Twitter, and when the police are somewhere doing radar. You can go on Twitter yesterday, day before, even probably this morning. Oh, the police are at the roundabout here. The police are there. Guess what it
Right.
does? It changes people's behavior, right? So they say, I know the police are here, because guess what? No, I know I'm not, right? I'm not gonna go speeding down the street if I know the police are there. So I
I
think the
get it, but I
change
just, yeah.
behavior is the goal. I mean, I see your point. I mean, at the end of the day,
Hmm.
we've seen the results of people drunk driving. We shouldn't need. I don't disagree with you, but what I'm saying is this particular law was made to change behaviors. I think based on what Chief Inspector Robert Cardwell was saying, it's like you almost want to say, well, this is not working for us. Is it working for the community though? I would like to see, Sherry, I would like
Stats.
to
I need,
see the data to show
yeah.
the difference prior to this and a difference
Uh-huh.
after this, as far as how many drivers have been pulled over, how many accidents that were caused by this. So if we can
Yeah.
get actual data, because I feel like there's always these conversations happening
Blanket.
without
Hmm.
actual data being presented. Let's go to the comments real quickly. Sam Cat Place and Teresa Marie.
Yes, change behavior is definitely needed. So maybe just maybe folks will stay cognizant if their actions. Agree that the objective should be to deter poor behavior, not to catch people out.
Yeah, James
And
Burt says, why
yeah.
do so many need to learn the hard way, me included? Agreed.
Mm.
Nachika Trot says, what does the data show in terms of jurisdictions that have advanced in this first? Now, you can tell she's a math person, right? But no, I agree, Nachika. We're aligned in the
Yes.
same space. What does the data say? Because it's easy for Sherry and I to share our opinions now, right? Which our opinions are based on how we feel and you know, prior the past history. But it'll be easier if there was actual data that was shared
Yes.
with us to say whether it makes sense. Now, this is not about making the process less frustrating for the police. This is about making the roads more safe for Bermudians and everyone who uses the roads.
Now, did I understand the article correct that there's a number of steps that they have to go to just have it advertised, and that for them is frustrating?
Yeah,
Did I
yeah,
read that
and
correctly?
yeah, they have to basically gazette it. I guess that's what the term
Yeah.
we still call it, and that is a process, right?
Hmm.
Look, Sherry, you probably get it. I get in WhatsApp groups. Oh, this is where the man's gonna be. Da da da. I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm not in that. But let's say I did drink. Would this make me not want to be? Yeah, I don't even want to go. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is no disrespect to any police officer anywhere. The truth is, even if I'm doing that and nothing wrong, I don't want to drive across a police officer.
Right, right, right.
Seriously, seriously. Like, just I could be going the speed limit. I don't want to go cross a police officer.
I just don't want to have the interaction.
Literally,
Cool
I
and
don't.
everything, but I just don't.
I don't. But folks, let us know. Do you believe the public should be warned about basically police checks? Do you believe that the police should have to gazette or advertise where they're going to be? Do you think that's created a safer and a better space for Bermudians and all those who use the roads of Bermuda? What are your thoughts on the change? Because it seems like the minister's saying it's not going to happen. The police would like for it to happen. What are your thoughts on this? Go ahead, Shay.
No, and I was gonna say, like, at the same token, we talked about this, I think, yesterday or the day before in regards to trust in the police, right?
Mhm.
Are we gonna trust that the process, even of the sobriety checks, are we gonna be able to trust the process? Are we gonna be
Mhm.
able to trust that it's being done correctly?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and that's the other part too.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, no, I haven't been drinking. Well, I have one glass of wine
Mhm.
or whatever. It's like, no,
Mhm.
jail. You
Yeah.
know, are we meeting a quota? No, I'm just saying.
No, but there's legit questions that people who have concerns about it ask. And, let's not forget the racial component about this, right? There's, even though it's Bermuda, there's been people, I think Curb has spoken about they were against this not long ago, but, these checks, random checks per se, they can be seen as, racially motivated. Let's just be honest. So there's a lot to this. And again, I think we all want the same thing for Bermuda, which is safer roads, more responsible
Yes.
drivers and people. But is the best way to do this by letting the public know where the police are going to be setting up, or is the best way to do this by doing it without warning? That's the question for you. And the Chico Trot says, maybe spreading the word about checkpoints is to increase the perceived risk of getting caught, thus deterring impaired drivers and adding to the overall efficacy, whatever that word is, efficiency of the use of sobriety checkpoints. Now, she makes a point. Michelle Christina says yes, so she believes that people should be warned. Right? People should be warned. I stand my ground. I believe that if the process is done right, I believe people should be warned about where police checks. I even believe, Sherry, and I'm going to take it a step further.
What?
I even believe that people should be warned about where the radar is set up. I do. Because for me, think about it. If somebody flashes their lights that the police are down the road, what do?
Slow down.
Okay. So if people, right, if the police say we're doing radar on Barnes Corner, we're doing radar on East Broadway, we're doing radar on Kinley Field, what do you think is going to happen?
Everybody be slowing down.
My point is, you don't have to hide and criminalize people to make people do the right thing.
Right.
Sometimes you only need to say, look, this is where we're going to be. It's up to you. If you still want to do it after this, that's on you.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm not saying to agree with me. I'm just literally sharing my perspective that I believe the way forward is not to criminalize, but to assist.
And I see a point, Jamal. I just still think if you are just doing what has been required of you to do, and I understand not everybody does, but if you just do what is required of you to do, then that's all you need to do, and understand that your choices have consequences.
Indeed.
Like me included. Like I like a little gas too, you know what I'm saying? A little dip in and dip out and all of that type of stuff, I get it, but if I got caught for doing it, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah,
no, I got you. Keitha Trot Kane says, I've heard people saying they weren't going to go out the day of the checks are done. So she knows, she's saying she's heard people say, I'm not going out because the police are doing their sobriety checks.
Yeah.
So it's a deterrent, but only for that day. Well, this is a good point. Keitha, because, and I think that goes back to Shara's point, right? If the deterrent is only for that day, then is it working, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't prepare a child just for that one test. You prepare them for a lifetime. So I take that point. And the Chico Trot for you, Sherry.
Have the police provided their evidence/study of what advantages are of their position on this matter? We need to have all information for the community to make an informed decision. Once again, education. Definitely agree with you,
It always
Nikita.
comes back to education, Chica. I completely agree.
And
James Burt says,
communication.
should we all flash our lights when the police are down the road? Well,
Aren't.
you know, I
He
think
said when
this,
they aren't.
yeah, but James, the idea is flashing them when they are down the road. Does it work though? Does it work? Sam Cat Play says, I don't agree with the radar only because there are young boys who blatantly do stupid stuff on the road. They still don't slow down. Speed is killing more than drunkenness. And a fair point to you, Sam Cat Place. Look, just general questions. Does police presence help deter or do neither? Does it change things? Keith O'Trot Kane's laughing at James Birch. That would get people to slow down. Yeah, I think he meant R as well. Sam Cat Place says, who am I kidding? Actually, grown men too. Absolutely. Grown adults. I'm not even going to say men. Grown adults drive crazy. Angeline Butler shared.
But if you have to, if you have a real deep set issue with alcoholism, etc., no amount of warning will be a deterrent.
And now we're getting to a place where it's deep. And that is a great point, Angeline Butler. There are people who go out to a happy hour once in a while and maybe have too much. But then there are people who regularly, right, because it's an abuse problem, substance abuse at this point, overdo it and put other people's lives in jeopardy. So a checkpoint once a week is not going to do anything for that person. Now, to Keitha's point about, deterring them for one day, well, I don't have the data, but I'm pretty sure in at least a jurisdiction like Bermuda, the police could probably show us that more people are likely out drinking on a Friday and Saturday, right? So I think those are the nights that they're trying to deter people, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong because, folks, I'm just speaking based on what I believe in this respect, not actual data and what I know. Karen Simmons for you, Sherry.
Flashing the lights to alert that the radar or police are near is against the law. Just found that out. So don't get caught doing it.
Well, they don't flash lights anymore. They go on Twitter. I'm telling you.
And then what's the other thing? Somebody watched some, it's a whole thing that,
Well, see, in the US, I use Waze. Waze is like, even though I know where I'm going, I can know where I'm going. I use Waze. And the reason I use Waze is because you never know what's happening on your way to your destination. But Waze actually tells you where the police are. So, for instance, if you're driving on 95, Waze is going to say police 4.4 miles ahead, right? And it'll alert you. So we have that system. I mean, Bermudians, if anyone in Bermuda is watching right now, that's a techie. Get yourself, create a Waze app. I know you may say Bermuda's small, but trust me, not for the police, but you know how people are complaining about traffic out the west and this and that? Waze would be your best friend if you can create an app like that.
It does. It says accident up ahead, and then you let it know if it's still there. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's still there. So it's also a community thing.
And it might give you, if that accident up ahead is creating a lot of traffic jam, well, it can tell you other back roads to go with. And Bermuda does have some neighborhood roads you can probably go through if they're not, if they're drive through anyway. Rick Olson says most drivers that drink avoid where the police normally are and take another route home. But Rick, my point is that strategically, and I said this earlier, I'm not sure if you were tuned in, but for those who may have just tuned in, if the police are setting up on Middle Road, Warwick, for instance, why not set up on South Shore and Harbor Road as well? That's what I'm saying. Like, you cut down the routes to actually change that behavior, not create another route for them to take it. Because at that point, I mean, now some people may say, yeah, Jamal, you're making excuses for bad behavior, or you're creating a bigger job for the police. No, I'm actually trying to figure out ways to help the community, and not the police necessarily, but people to make more responsible decisions and become better. Because this law, as it is right now, is actually to help people. Let's make this law work for our community so that we don't get to the space where it becomes about criminalizing us.
Yeah, I get that part.
Nachika Trot says, When was the last time the written driving license test was updated? Other questions about the legal level of alcohol to drive on the test, for example. Well, that I cannot answer, but that is a good question, Chica.
Very good question.
Angela Bartley says yes to Waze. Yes, Waze is
Yes.
the way to go if you're on the roads in the US. Again, question of the morning, folks, and thank you all for tuning in, and especially those on the radio station, because often, we
You forget them.
you love. And yesterday, I know we had some challenges on the radio station, but thank you all for tuning in on bcgradio.com. Hey, Christmas music's playing on there right now. But the question of the morning is, do you believe the public should be warned about road sobriety checks? The Minister of Transport, Lawrence Scott, said it ain't happening. It's not happening. And Chief Inspector Robert Cardwell, the head of traffic police, said that no warning breath test checkpoints would make the legislation more effective. Tamara Richardson, for you, sharing.
Wouldn't a more realistic solution be to deal with the public transportation going beyond evening hours? That would go a long way to help.
See, now Tamara's just starting job. You know they can't even get a bus schedule right, and now you talking about doing something like, come on, Tamara, come on, we're not doing that. No, but seriously, she makes a great point.
How many buses are canceled a day, Jamal?
Yeah,
Goodness.
Leanna
did.
Did Lee say they were getting some 30 new
Electric.
buses? Okay,
Mhm.
I mean, that's another story, because do they even have these spaces where these buses can anyway, infrastructure and all that. But good, this is a good point that Tamara's making, because at the end of the day, change behaviors equate to change infrastructure, right?
Mhm.
So part of that infrastructure is creating a system. I'll use New York City, and I know as people are saying, oh, you can't compare New York to Bermuda, but I would love to know the data comparatively speaking, because in New York, I've seen a lot of drunk people on that public transport system. I mean, I feel sorry for the people who got to clean it up, but it's bad. Now, some people may say, well, we have the taxis, and then you have people complaining about, oh, taxis aren't out that time of night.
Yeah.
I always say taxi drivers still have families, folks. Like, let's remember, not all of them, a lot of them work during the day like you. Is there legislation that can change that, where they have to rent it out? I think a taxi has to be on the road 16 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Rick Olson suggests Uber. He believes this will change behavior. Uber's an iffy one. I know Bermuda's had challenges with Uber. I know Bermuda's had challenges in terms of how that would work with private vehicles. I know. What about Hitch? But Hitch is still tied to taxis, right?
Taxis, yeah. They help. Hitch, yeah.
Tamara Richardson says taxis, buses, etc. Until we give people another way, I doubt we will see a drastic reduction. But there was Carter, I believe. Carter was giving, doing something, free rides or something in cabs at one point. So I know.
It's the other side of it, Jamal. What comes with drunkenness? What comes with, it's either talking too much or getting inappropriate, or you're throwing up in the, in the car, and all of those kind of things. And if you have to use that vehicle to, for your own income, then it's the next day you have to clean it. So it's all of those things that come along with that, to put yourself out there to say that that's what you're going to offer. And I can see why people wouldn't do it.
You made the extended point I was going to make about, like, the trains in this US. Like, there are times you get in the morning and you smell the vomit, right? You're going to work and you smell the vomit from the night before, because the people are, they just cleaned it up and stuff and so on. So, again, you're talking about people's private vehicles and cabs. I'll never forget. I'll share this with you. I'll be vulnerable. When we went to Barcelona, this was about 12 years ago. Back then I had, I was a drinker. I was a drinker. I put it like that. And had a heavy drinking session that night. It was our first day in Barcelona, and I left the fellas. I went up. I said, I'm getting a cab back to the hotel, and I got in a cab, and the cab driver, I opened the door before he pulled off, and I threw up. And he says, no, he spoke Spanish. I spoke English. I didn't know what he was saying, but basically I knew the signals. Get out of my cab. That said, I completely will use myself as an example, that if that were me, the driver, I would do the same thing, because no, this is your only form of income. And not only that, who's going to clean that up? Right. So we've got to respect that process as well. Like, public transportation, buses? Do we have people that are like janitors? Are the mechanics the janitors as well that are going to clean up this mess? Are we still encouraging the bad behavior? I guess at the end of the day, folks, it's an iffy one. This is a tough conversation, and I'm glad that we have this show where we can have these conversations. But something has to change. We've lost too many people on our roads. Alcohol and speed have played a great role in that. As I stated, and I tell you no lies, if you go on Twitter, one of the things Bermudians do come together for is sharing where the police are, where the radar is. Right? Bermudians come together for that. But what I would like to see us come together for, as much as we do that, is helping one another change our behavior.
Right.
I know we can't control what other adults are going to do, but if we can inspire our friends or motivate them not to drive under the influence, if one of us can say, you know what, I'm going to sit out this night, I'm going to be designated, that might help a great deal.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And it does.
Right? Yeah.
And it does, even if you taking a taxi, have somebody that is still going to be, that sober friend that's going to get with you in the taxi. Just don't put everyone in a taxi.
Yeah, indeed. Exactly. Lee, good morning to you. How are you, sister?
I'm feeling like Christmas.
Yep. She's got her Christmas tree out, folks.
It was the Vanna White hands for you.
Hold on. We need to name your Christmas tree. Audience, Leanna needs a name for her Christmas tree. So please figure out, Sherry, what you going with? Pinky?
Yeah, I went with Pinky.
You going with Pinky?
We did a variation of Pinky. We said the Pinkster. That's not going to be it. We're not doing that.
Pinkster.
We're not doing that.
Okay. Help Leanna out, folks. Help Leanna out. She needs a name for her Christmas tree. Lee, what are your thoughts real quickly before we jump in the news break on the police? They obviously want to get rid of the warnings. The Minister of Transport wants to keep them. What do you think the overall solution to this situation is?
Well, see, I'm a little indifferent with this. So when it comes to actually warning people, I feel like that's one way where we've seen statistics actually decrease in the speed and whatnot of people and the way that they behave on the roads. So I think that that's actually been helpful. However, I do take the other side where it's like, as you warn people, you're not changing the behavior. You're just, you're masking it, right? So, I think Tamara was the one that said it, that, until we could come up with a solution. I don't have a solution as yet, because you guys make very valid points regarding who's going to be cleaning up cabs, who's going to be cleaning up personal vehicles, who's going to be cleaning up buses. Even if we have some of the minibus services that we offer, I do applaud CARTA for what they're trying to do with the free cab rides at home late nights and whatnot. But it is one of those things. I mean, when I remember being in school, we would take the buses, we'd take the tubes home and whatnot. And you're absolutely right. Who's going to be the ones that onus is on to do the cleanup? It's going to have to be a cleanup crew. Now, if that's providing jobs, then here we go. We're talking about something. So
I'll stick with this. I'll say, I think addressing it before we get there, change behavior is on all of us. So my hope is that we can do that. We have a few names. We have Noel from our guest today. Noel, that's a good name for your tree.
James like Noel. Candy Gun. James.
And we have one more.
One
more. Karen Simmons says, Fuchsia Delight. And, one more. Keitha Trot Kane says, Think Pink Magic Rose. All righty.
You guys, thank you.
So you have to let us know on Monday which
I am. I'm gonna take the weekend to have a think. And I mean, Noel is speaking to me right now. And Candy, what was it, James? Candy
Gun. Yeah,
I like
that
Cece.
one.
You said Cece?
Yeah. CC tree. Anyway, Lee, let's get to the news break. After this news break, we'll have Colleen English De Grilla joining us talking about pals, folks. Do not go anywhere. Over to you, Lee.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry and TGIF to all of those who are tuned in with us today. I hope you all are having a great start to your day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. In today's top stories, health officials have revealed that 2 more cases of the new Omicron variant of the coronavirus have been quarantined. The news meant that the Omicron variant accounts for 8% of the 24 active cases of the coronavirus where typing was available. However, the number of active cases is down from the 31 logged on Tuesday's update when the first case of the Omicron variant was announced. Now, the infections were found in people who arrived on island from overseas. 4 new infections were found in total in the more than 3,500 test results from Monday and Tuesday. No one is currently in hospital. In other news, schools have officially moved into phase 3 of the COVID-19 phases for school protocols, which came into effect earlier this week. The government has confirmed that changes will see the return of parent and visitor entry, minor changes to class bubbles, staff socializing, assemblies, meetings, small group play, physical education classes, Christmas plays, and field trips. Now, Minister of Education Diallo Rabane said he was pleased to see the work undertaken to get our students back to a normal learning environment is progressing. Meanwhile, we've been discussing it this morning about whether the public should or should not be warned about roadside breath test checkpoints. As we know, this decision has been ruled out by the transport minister. So for those looking to head out this holiday, we're informing you that there will be roadside sobriety checkpoints taking place over the Christmas holiday, which has been gazetted in the official notices. The police will be conducting them from Monday, December 20th to Sunday, December 26th, with the checkpoint set to take place in Hamilton Parish, Devonshire, Pembroke, and Paget. And if you've been traveling into the city from the west and often use Harbor Road, you'll be happy to know that works will be officially starting at the end of the month. However, it will come with road users having to face 2 sets of lane closures. The news came as the Ministry of Public Works announced that work on the road between Lovers Lane and Highwood Lane in Paget was resuming. Repair works on another section of Harbor Road would start next Saturday and cause more traffic disruption. Both projects are expected to be finished in January. A spokesperson for the ministry said that the work on Lovers Lane section would begin again after a dispute with a local resident, which caused work to grind to a halt until it was resolved. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 71 and a low near 63 degrees. There will be plenty of sunshine today with a light breeze, although slightly hazy at times this morning. Now, tonight will be mostly clear with winds east-northeasterly, light to moderate. High pressure will ensure settled weather into the weekend with seasonal temperatures. However, a cold front will approach from the west on Sunday with showery conditions developing Sunday evening and night. That's all for our Daily Hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Why you want to bring it back to us? You were doing so well, Lee. I mean,
Yeah.
all right. So we're gonna come up with a name on Monday.
We are.
Let us know the name. All right, folks. So make sure you don't miss us Monday. Lee is gonna give us the name of her beautiful tree in the back. I'm got one concern about the tree.
Oh gosh. We couldn't end it on a good note. We were so close.
Lee,
Very close.
Lee, there's not enough space under the tree for my gift.
Oh goodness.
Okay, we're gonna let you have a great weekend now, Lee. You have a wonderful weekend. Give you time to get some space on there.
Don't worry, I'm gonna out you on Monday with what you told Sherry and I backstage this morning. So don't worry, guys. I'm coming. I'm gonna let you know what Mr. Hartman had to say about Christmas presents this year.
You just made me remember. Yeah. I spilled the beans about Halloween, so I guess I got to take this beating too about Christmas. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say I'm a strategic Christmas shopper. Lee, have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully,
Oh my gosh! Bye, Lee.
Folks, we have Colleen English De Grilla coming up after this. Thanks to Leanna for that news break and People's Pharmacy for their support of that. Do not go anywhere. We've got a good, important conversation coming up.
Yes.
Stick with us.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
We're spotlighting a Bermudian company who produces staple foods and other essential products that are integral to our Bermudian way of life and are surprisingly affordable. Bermuda's Best products started out in the late 90s with Bermuda's Best codfish, which definitely got your attention. Then came Bermuda's Best mayonnaise, matching the heavy hitters in flavor and true to the Bermuda Best formula, low in price. Further diversification has ensued, resulting in the inception of Bermuda's Best Concentrated Laundry Detergent, a special feature this month. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartnett. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and the great folks at People's Pharmacy. Just want to say real quickly before we bring our guest for the day in, Sherry, you heard about Juicy Smollett, right?
Yes, I did. I did hear about Jesse Smollett. Is it Smollett?
It's Juicy Smollett, according to Dave Chappelle. But anyway, Juicy got found guilty yesterday, folks. Juicy Smollett got found guilty on 5 or 6 charges or whatnot. And I just want to say this. And seriously, before we bring our guest in, I want to say this to every person who's ever tuned into this show and who continues to tune in. One thing I will always say is be careful with the first story you hear. Listen to me. And I'm so sorry to Mr. Grilla. We'll give her extra time. But listen to me when I say this, seriously. The first story you hear is rarely the truth. And just because you don't hear another side still doesn't validate the first story you hear as the truth. Mm-hmm. And that story was first released. I was like, this doesn't sound believable. And even though he still denies the version today, right? It still doesn't sound believable. It seems like he goes by the guy code: if you cheat on your woman, never admit guilt.
Right.
But I'm telling you, folks, even those people black like me who said, I don't believe this guy's story, were being chastised by people and called names like transphobic. It had nothing to do with his sexuality. And for some white people, it had nothing to do with his race. The story did not sound believable. Now, does this mean that the police were right or I trust the justice system? No. But what we cannot do is continue to let things like this happen that make it harder for us when things actually do happen.
Yeah.
So I encourage the audience, even with your family, friends, people in public, even myself, do not take what you're being told as gospel truth. Ask questions. Mm-hmm. Get to a space of understanding. But the first story, if nothing else, is really the exact way that something happened. I'll leave it at that, and let's get to our guest for the day, Miss Colleen English De Grilla. Welcome to the show, madam. How are you?
Well, thank you. I'm very well. How are you guys?
Hi, Colleen.
Hello. How are you?
Good. I haven't seen you in a while.
A long time.
Sherry loves to age people like that.
No.
Welcome to the show, and sorry about the delay, but this is an important conversation to me. I appreciate, I'll just get off the bat, what you all have done for my family member, who I love dearly. And my hope is that through this platform and through Bermudians, we can do our part to ensure that you are around to assist as many people who need your services as possible. So let's just start with explaining, for those who might not know, what is PALS?
Okay. And there are so many that don't know, unfortunately. I guess fortunately and unfortunately. I always say you don't know until you need us, and maybe that's a good thing. So PALS has been around for 41 years. We are a charity that helps anybody dealing with cancer, patients, their family, their loved ones. We don't charge families for any of our services. We have 5 nurses, a medical social worker, and a doctor that could all come to visit you and assist you and help in any part of what you need. There are 3 cancer charities on Ireland that people often confuse. Well, what do you all do? So we're all very different. Agape, is Agape House, where people go at the end of their life. Bermuda Cancer and Health is for treatment. You can go for radiation. You can go for mammograms. PALS helps you while you have cancer. A lot of people feel that we're end of life only, but we're not. We really want to be there through the whole stage. The second you get diagnosed, we want to be involved so that we can be supportive and we can be there for you. And, help your family through things. If you have to go overseas, we can financially help by paying for the hotel, so you don't have to worry about paying the hotel and getting reimbursed. We pay, we help pay for medications when needed. It just a lot of things that we do that nobody else out there does. We also, what another thing that people don't know is we don't get government grants. We don't get government supplements. We apply for grants sometimes for special programs, but we all of our money rate is through fundraising. So anytime anyone can help, if you see a raffle, if you come to our thrift shop, it's all very helpful to us.
All right. And just if you don't mind, go a bit deeper in terms of what are some of the things PALS does to assist those in need of their services.
So if you're diagnosed with cancer, you would come and you would have your doctor make a referral to PALS, and then you would have one of the nurses would call you. They're geographically placed, so depending on the parish you live in, they will call you. They will set up an appointment. They'll assess you, and then depending on what you need, we can be there. The nurses, if you have wound care, they'll go every couple of days. They'll teach the family how to dress the wound. They'll dress your wounds. We offer emotional support. But again, there's the financial need. Some people need help with food supplements or Ensure products, which we have here at a reduced cost or free, depending on your financial need. We have our whole basement is full of equipment. So if you need walkers, wheelchairs, commodes, beds, any equipment we give to you. We just ask that you give it back when you don't need it anymore. And like I said, financial needs. So sometimes people with cancer, when they have cancer, they're diagnosed and they have this new medication and it might be $10,000 a month. Okay, well, you have insurance, and so they're going to pay $5,000 of it. Well, who's going to pay the other $5,000? So you can be assessed by our social worker, and we can deem how we can help you.
Wow. And so when you talk about help, Colleen, you have an annual fundraiser. Tell us about those in need for your services and how important that annual fundraiser is.
Well, we have quite a few annual fundraisers, but our budget is over $2 million a year. So it is very important that we raise funds. So actually, one of our biggest fundraisers is tomorrow. It's the PALS annual fair, the holiday fair. And that it's our 41st year of having it. It's also the day we will do our raffle draw, which we've had since September. We've been selling raffle tickets. So anybody that hasn't bought a raffle ticket or wants to come support PALS, please come down to the PALS headquarters tomorrow, 18 Point Finger Road, and you'll see all the people. You'll be able to see the different stalls. You'll be able to visit the thrift shop and buy your raffle ticket. We will be open from 9 to 2.
All right.
Oh, awesome. So, and you talk about different ways that the community can assist with the fundraiser, but how can they just assist with PALS just in general when there isn't any fundraisers or anything like that?
We're always looking for volunteers. The thrift shop we opened the thrift shop about 4 years ago, and it's extremely busy. We're only open Saturdays and Sundays because we get to use Dr. Wong's parking next door, and that's I don't know. I just lost my train of thought, but sorry. But so we're open Saturdays 9 to 3 and Sundays 11 to 3. So the thrift shop is always looking for volunteers. If you want to be a volunteer there, we are oftentimes looking for volunteers up in the office, maybe to write thank you letters or to stuff envelopes or do something. So you can go on our website, www.pals.bm, and fill out an application saying you want to be a volunteer and tick, the different things you might be interested in, and we will definitely call you.
Awesome. I know two of your employees there, Shamika Ingham Darrell and Lynette Waldron. I hope that they are helping along with this fundraiser, and Lynette making some wonderful
Of
cookies. But how
course.
can how can other people, help with the fundraiser and also attend it?
Well, they can. We have put out a calling for anyone that wants to make baked goods for our bake sale. They can get students are getting community service hours. So if anybody wants to do that and you have time, you can drop it off tomorrow morning. We will be here from 7 a.m. onwards. Like I said, the fair starts at 9, so it'll be 9 to 2 tomorrow in the parking lot downstairs outside of the thrift shop at the PALS headquarters.
Make sure Shamika makes some popcorn.
Yeah, I love the popcorn.
No, I don't think the work that PALS does is known enough.
Yes.
There's a lot of young people, right? And I say this because we've seen young people diagnosed with cancer more and more, at least from what I've seen in my space. There's no data to say that it's happening with more young people, but in my space. And it feels like you said something earlier. Some people only know about us when they need us. What is being done to, as far as I know, people are big on social media and so on. What's being done to really push and promote the services that you do offer, so that people know that, hey, we can go and help this organization, not because we need them, just because there's a service to the community that is needed.
Right. We try to. So I'm the only executive here at PALS. We don't have a marketer. We don't have a fundraiser. I do have an amazing fundraising chair who's a volunteer who's my right-hand person. So we do all of our marketing ourselves. We put it on, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We try to put everything up. But again, there's still doctors on the island that say, oh, you don't need PALS yet. And I'm trying to, since I've been at PALS 4.5 years, I'm like, forget the yet. It's not about the yet. It's when you have cancer, you should have PALS. It should just go hand in hand. But there's also still a stigma that people say, oh, I don't want that PALS van in my yard. I don't want people to know. Really? But yeah, because they still think it's end of life. They don't think of it as, oh, they're here to help me.
Well,
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, and I think Karen Simmons, thank you to PALS with the support to my family and friends. And I think I echoed that, as I stated earlier. But I just want to say, obviously, it's a very small team, really just you as the exec. But please know that our platform, we will make space for things like this, to have conversations to ensure that the community is aware
of
the services that you have. At the end of the day, the community is the most important part of what we do. And so understanding that something so important doesn't have the resources is the best community service that we can necessarily give. So thank you for trusting our platform. And before you go, just remind people how they can reach out to you, get in touch, and learn more about not just tomorrow's fundraiser, but fundraisers going forward.
Okay. You can visit our PALS website at www.pals.bm. You can email at info@pals.bm. We are on Instagram, and we have 2 Facebook pages, PALS Cancer Care and PALS Thrift Shop. So please visit any of them.
All righty. Thank you. We have a fan in the audience. My old supervisor.
Yes, Shayna.
Your fan club. Well, thank you. And like I said, if you have anything like press releases, anytime you want to come on and you've got something going on, please just reach out to Shanta. Shanta is the person who assists backstage. She pretty much puts together everything we do. So you've been in contact. We do have one question before you head out from Kathy Bromby. She says, do doctors need to give a referral?
Yes. It could be any doctor, your GP, the oncologist, but they have a PALS referral. And if they don't, just call us and we can send it to them. But most of them do have a PALS referral.
All righty. Good information. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Nice seeing you.
You too, Sherry.
And like I said, we look forward to supporting the work you do going forward.
Thank you for inviting me. Thanks again.
No problem.
Okay, bye.
Oops, we had another comment. So sorry. Charles says, I too would like to thank PALS for their support of my family. So thank you. We are thankful for the work that you do. We're going to take a quick break. Cheryl's going to be back with some good, bad, and ugly. We're going to have a Christmas trivia. And we're going to wrap today's show up. But honestly, I can't thank the folks at Pals enough for the work they do. It's been helpful. It's been loving. It's been an experience. And I tell people all the time, you never know when you'll need something. And I have my you know, I have my feelings about charity. I do. But there are some things that are extremely necessary. And so I tell people, look, support what we need. If you appreciated today's discussion and conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to come back and wrap it up. You know how this goes, folks. You know how this goes. Do not go anywhere.
Hi, Bermuda. As the festive season is upon us, I'm back again to remind you to shop local. Local retailers are filling their shelves with gifts and goodies for all of our holiday needs. And to make shopping even more exciting, you can play our holiday scratch and win at participating retailers. There's great prizes to be won, so shop local and have some fun. Scratch the card, and if you see 3 matching center bags, turn that card over and scratch to see what you have won. Have fun, Bermuda, and remember to shop locally this holiday season.
Bermuda, Mariah Carey is defrosting as we speak, and Christmas in the city will soon be upon us. The city of Hamilton invites you to the biggest pajama party you could dream of at the Fresh Air Films Drive-In Movie Series, December 10th to the 12th, on the top level of Bull's Head Car Park. Load up the car and come out in your favorite snuggly pajamas for doubleheaders of Christmas movie classics, treats, and prize giveaways. Physical distance and mask wearing required. Present a receipt from any city retail business between November 12th and December 12th, valued at $35 or more to gain entry. This Christmas, make your holiday memories in the city of Hamilton.
Hamilton, Bermuda at its best.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Colleen English De Grilla from Pals. Folks, get out there, support them. Thanks again to People's Pharmacy, Medical House, Linda's, and One Communications. Don't forget, City of Hamilton's got some stuff going on tomorrow, well, this weekend, starting tonight. So check that out. Drive-in movies, folks. Enjoy it. Don't be dirty. Yeah, don't. Yeah. So we have Shara. Do you have any good, bad, and ugly for us?
I sure do, Jamal. My good is just a vibe. We're getting into the Christmas holiday. I reminisce about what happened last year. I had no Christmas spirit. So I'm just feeling good about this whole Christmas vibe that is going on right now. Bad, of course, is talking about the young man who, experienced that Balco situation. And I just think that was just a bad situation. But like we said, 3 different experiences and lessons in all. And then ugly, like you said, Juicy Smollett. That is ugly. That whole situation. The fact that it's been carrying on for 2 years, and I'm sure COVID had a part of it. It's 2.5, maybe 3, it feels like. It's been carrying on for a long time. But yeah, get your life, Jesse. Get your life.
Well, here's the thing about Juicy, right? A justice for Juicy, as Rashida Godwin said. That's what Dave Chappelle was saying. Justice for Juicy during his comedic thing. Tell her behave, not me. But no, I think there was so many things wrong with the situation, and what I really don't like is when people disagree, we immediately say they're racist or they're homophobic, and that's just not true. That's not true. And it's people.
He took on a whole show.
Yeah. Like it's I just want to encourage our audience, because I think we have a responsible audience. And I'm just going to repeat, don't believe the first thing you hear. It could come from my mouth or Shara's mouth. Yeah. I'm very honest with my feelings. I don't speak on this show to change anyone's mind, nor do I speak so that you feel like what I'm saying is the honest truth. What I do is share my perspective so that I can encourage you all to think about something in a different way. That's it. Not to change your mind, but just to think. And I feel like we have a tendency in our culture in Bermuda, right, to put up someone puts up a social media post. Someone puts up a social media post, and then we all just run with it like it's true. We don't seek truth. We believe stories. There's a difference.
That
There's a
sounds
difference.
like the quote.
There's a difference, and we've got
Yeah.
to do better. We've got to do better. And I think the Jussie Smollett case is a very honest situation of why and how we can't afford to get this stuff wrong. We can't.
Yeah.
Because the next person that this actually happens to, they've got to go through extra hoops just to prove their case.
And a show was taken down and jobs were lost because of this situation. So the trickle down effect, is
Indeed.
ugly.
Indeed. And let's just be honest. I don't know what Empire is. I don't even know who he was. So that's what space I'm in. Sam Cat Place says, I think he was conducting an experiment that went wrong. LOL. Rashida Godwin, absolutely. We have to stop being so reactive and be proactive and do our research. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And research is not believing that first story you see on social media. Hedeline Stevenson Swan says, thank you guys for broadening our horizon. We appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of our audience. Sherry, it's time for the Daily Play brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Are you ready?
As ready as I'm going to be, Jamal. Just say the question.
She's grumpy, folks. Grumpy auntie. All right, here we go, folks. She may need your help. Here we go. I'm going to give you two. It's going to be an easy one. What beverage is often left out for Santa?
Milk.
Oops, wrong one.
See? No, your negative energy is always coming through first, Jamal.
No, I didn't mean it. So she got it right. Milk. I thought you were going to say eggnog based on your history. So I don't know. All right.
Really?
Last one. Here we go. What real estate tycoon appeared as himself in Home Alone 2?
Donald Trump.
Well,
No. I did?
Oh, you got it. Nice. You got it. Wow, she
My special wig today.
She got it. You know what? We haven't done this in a while. We're gonna do a giveaway for a mug. So, folks, get your stuff ready. We're gonna give you
Grumpy Grinch is happy
we're
today.
gonna give you
Come on, you guys.
Daily Hour is the hashtag for today. We're gonna get Sherry got them both right, folks. The Daily Hour hashtag. That's what we're gonna do today.
Yeah.
Hashtag the Daily Hour. We're gonna give away a mug. Don't forget, we're giving away a lot of stuff, not for Christmas. We're gonna be giving you some stuff in the new year, and also someone it will be a lucky winner as well, because remember, we did this survey, and you all, let me say, we put that survey out for about a few days, and you all came through. We got 100-something responses for a sample size. That is great. So you came through, and we're gonna reward somebody with a big prize. So you've got to stay tuned right up until the 22nd. And no, Sherry, you are not eligible. Hashtag the Daily Hour, folks. Don't forget, hashtag the Daily Hour. We're giving away a little something today. What you were trying to cheat, Sherry?
It's not cheating.
Well, I mean, you think that somebody works at the Powerball can win the Powerball?
Thank God I don't work there.
Yeah, tell me. You know, I got a scratch off yesterday. It was
How much you won, Jamal?
$10, and I had to download the app to scan it to see how much I won. But my $10 scratch off won me $30, so I can afford to go get a haircut. Yeah,
nice.
Gas money, luggage. Yeah, so folks, I'm $20 richer as of yesterday.
You know what my big number has been?
What?
2,500.
You won 2,500?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, 1,000 before. 1,000 one time, 2,500. The very first time I played, first time I won $500. The very first time.
Well, cousin Sherry, you should buy one for the audience so that we can have that opportunity. You out here winning big and stuff, and we just some person, just some. I'll tell you. All right, hashtag the Daily Hour, folks. That is the hashtag for the morning. For your chance to win something big, Sherry. You want to give the daily inspiration now or after? I think you should inspire people again. All right. What's the daily inspiration for Friday?
It isn't where you come from. It's where you're. Let's start again. It isn't where you come from, it's where you're going that counts. Ella Fitzgerald.
I love that. I love that. Let's bring it in. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's time for the spin, folks. Here we go. Let's go. It's spinning. It's spinning. It's
We don't
spinning.
see
It's
it.
spinning. It's spinning. My apologies. It's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning.
Come on, Karen.
It's spinning. Laverne Tucker is today's winner. Congratulations to you,
Hi,
Laverne.
Laverne.
All righty. She is the winner. All right. So, Laverne Tucker, please send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com so that you can collect your winnings. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you next week, Monday. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, please make it a safe and great weekend. Sherry?
Bye.
I'll miss you till Monday. Ooh, I'm going to do up my water. Peace.
It's recorded.